everyone. Welcome to TalktousToday. I'm Namita.
And I'm Simrit. Today's episode is all about the culture shock we Indians get when we return back from abroad, whether for a holiday or after a long period of time. We all know that predictably, the foreigners feel the culture shock when they come here. But episode is more about our born and bred Desis who've migrated abroad. And then when they come home, they're like, what? There's a shock.
Oh, yes. So, Simrit, I think you and me both kind of fall into this category. I am born and brought up in India. And after marriage, I lived in New York for 5 years before moving back. So, yeah.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, was born in Edmonton, Canada, as I've mentioned before, but moved to India when I was 9. But for university, I did go back for 5 years. And I go for extended periods sometimes. I used to, at least in the summer. But there are still things that surprise me upon my return. And the first one, you guys all know what this is the traffic. Not just the regular traffic, but the honking and the braking and the jatakas and it's like a constant roller coaster on the road. And, although it's considerably less now, about 20 years ago, there were less automatic cars on the road, and it would cause anxiety for sure. And
Yes.
I know my friends felt the same way.
I have spent 5 years in Manhattan, and it's been a long time since I moved back. But I remember the lack of personal space. It used to bother me a lot. I hated how there is no concept of personal space in India. Manhattan is very crowded, but people don't expect to be brushed up against and then not to be apologized to. Going to the market was such an ideal and hassle. I remember my cousin made fun of me that now I have become a foreigner or a foreign return. Then I was so complaining about this regular stuff that I grew up with, right? And in fact, the lack of privacy always bothered me. Like, the I don't know what happened with the other Desis, but it's always surprising people just banging, your door. Somebody or the other is just coming and dropping by. It's Mali, or it's a doodwala, or some random neighbor or shopkeeper. It's a constant process of being disturbed here.
Isn't that hilarious? People completely take privacy and personal space for granted. Like, there's no such thing as privacy. Like, even the interference we get, like to stand in lines, as an example, and
Yeah.
not push in front of you is unheard of, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's hilarious. The one thing that bothers Indians living abroad when they come back is the smells. Oh my God. And, Delhi is becoming crowded and whatever. And the smells assault your senses. And I'm a reader. So when these Indian authors or authors writing about India romanticize the smells, like walking through the street, the texture of the fragrance of the spices and the perspiration of human mankind. Like, no, that's bullshit, dude. Those smells can be aromatic around the food stalls and restaurants, and we all love that. But come on, there's a lot of foul smells around here.
Oh, yes, definitely. Some days it seems to be worse. The smell, lack of personal hygiene, bothers Desis as well. We may bathe a lot, and let's face it, we love to scratch ourselves in public. You, you pick,
Oh, cringeworthy.
pick our noses, yuck. And, being in public is everywhere. And I actually
Oh,
still find it so appalling. The governments are working on trying to reduce this and increasing the number of public toilets everywhere, but it's still a nuisance, Simran, which not only
yeah,
bothers foreign returns, but us as well.
absolutely. I agree. A friend's daughter got married a few years ago, and she didn't come to India for 3 years almost. So, and she's born and brought up here. And as I was standing outside with her a few days ago, she innocently comments, was the air in India always so polluted? And I laughed at her being an Aussie now. And she said she used to complain about her husband, who was then her fiance, who would come to India and say, "Oh my God, you guys don't know how to drive and the smell." And he's Indian as well, origin. And she would say, "Why don't you just absorb the culture around instead of complaining?" And he said, "Darling, wait till you come back from your first trip abroad, like from living there, and you will feel it." And she was so embarrassed that he was right.
Yes. One really funny thing these foreign returns notice when they come
Yeah.
back to India is how women dress up just to go to the malls or market or birthday parties. I mean, women wear much fancier clothes here in daytime than we did it in Manhattan or even in central London for that matter. I mean, the
Yeah.
women there do dress very sharply, but not as formally as they do here. If you go to a designer mall in India, like the Emporio or Mall in Delhi, it seems like everyone has come out for a fancy designer lunch.
I know. You got to
Yeah,
dress up to go to the party.
yeah, and full makeup on. I mean, not everyone, but some of the girls out there. And these women have obviously got beautiful and great taste, but don't know where to wear the clothes. I remember this first birthday party I attended of a 3-year-old when I came back from US. The moment I entered Simrit, I saw the mommy and the birthday girl in a ball gown. I was like, what? Did I miss something? Or there was a
Exactly.
theme, or was there a dress code which I missed? Because most of them were so overly dressed, high heels, full
Yeah.
makeup. I mean, I did feel out of place. And
Even
it's
I
actually,
got shocked when I my son started school. Even I was like, I was the only one who would go in jeans and a t-shirt. I think that's what our bond was.
exactly. Yes. And it's actually funny, but once you start living in that culture, you start understanding the psychology behind people's action. So over the time, I figured out that, I mean, they are all beautiful people, but this is how they feel good about themselves. Maybe that's what makes them happy, cheer them up. I mean, end of the day, that's what matters, right? So one should do what makes them happy. So if putting a red lipstick or a jazzy dress in the mall or in the party makes you happy, just do it. I mean, nothing else matters. And forget
Go for
about
it.
what others would say. Just do it, yeah.
Absolutely. But I mean, like I've said, that even I find it really surprising that we dress so fancy to casual places here. But you're right. Everyone, we're just having a good laugh here and talking, like we keep saying. Do whatever makes you happy. Forget what other people think. It's just what we find funny. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But there's a really funny thing now, turning the pace, that my friends notice that even living here or going abroad, I never noticed before. And I don't think Indians living in India most of their lives have noticed this. But it's a common complaint my friends have, is that why did the news anchors on the news scream all the time?
Oh
Why do
my
they?
God. Oh my God. Don't ask that. I've stopped watching news. You know,
We don't realize that even the most respectable news channels, and we're not going to name them what we feel, even there the anchors are really loud. It reminds me, and the news is really professional. There are pioneers who are done, but a really close friend. But our systems are different. So a really dear friend of mine was visiting from Toronto, and she was sitting in her room watching the news, and then she came, and all of a sudden it comes, breaking news, and she's like sitting there expecting some earth-shattering news to be reported, and she's really worried because she's here, her family's abroad, and it happened to be a Bollywood couple officially announcing their
oh
breakup
my
on TV.
God.
She couldn't stop. She came down. She was laughing. She was rolling. She's like, breaking news, breaking news. And like, so and so has officially. She thought it was a bomb blast or 9/11 type of like incident,
Oh,
or maybe some
that's,
incident big happened. But luckily it was, I mean, not lucky for them, but luckily it was only a Bollywood couple announcing their breakup.
yeah, that's so funny. I mean,
Yeah.
another thing that friends of mine notice And I think this one is really common is the platonic friends of the same sex holding hands in public and walking. So,
Yeah.
and people like us who grew up seeing it is also surprising for us. After all, like public display of affection are not encouraged, but holding hand with platonic friends is common. I mean, we show our love very differently in India. Yeah, coming back from US, I had forgotten the amount of love you get when you come here. People are
Mm.
so busy abroad in their own routines, in their own schedules, and they you have to make a plan to meet each other or meet for a dinner. Here in India, people are, I mean, also very busy and with their own routines and their schedule, but they prioritize meeting the loved ones. People come over when somebody comes from from abroad, or if they are visiting India after some time, and not just people who are in the family or circle of friends, but even the neighbors will drop in to see you, some gifts or something, and they insist on having you over for a dinner or a tea. And this is amazing, but it's a love that shines through, and it overwhelms the foreign return like us, but that's what they come back for.
It is, right? That is. So, all you foreign returns or you Desis coming back, here's a final message. Please do come and enjoy yourself. And don't get too overwhelmed about complaining. We don't really love it. We know what's out there. Enjoy
Exactly.
yourself.
Yes.
Don't forget, you have dinner with us on Wednesday. You can and bring an appetite to every meal.
Yes.
And for our patriots out there who may have got offended by some stuff we've said, please don't. Develop a bit of a thick skin. That's the best way to get through life. And instead of getting offended, you know what? Why not change what you can about the pollution, the smells, and follow the traffic rules without honking and braking all the time? We love India. Me and Namita love India.
Yes, we
Let's make
love
it.
India. That's why we are here, back here, enjoying our life the most.
Yes.
So I think that's all on Talktis today. Do let us know what you think about today's episode by emailing us at hello@talktoustoday.com, or comment below in the comment section. Let your friends know where to find us. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay notified of our videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us on Talk to Us today.
Remember to talk to us today. Keep
Yeah,
smiling.
keep smiling, keep
Laughing.
laughing, just like
And
us.
keep laughing, guys. See you guys on Friday. Thank you for joining.